The Cotswolds, a unique area of southwest England full of gorgeous countryside with the most spectacular views.
Oh, look at this.
But I would say that I live here.
This is the life.
I'm poet Pam Ayres.
It's so nice to be back.
And in this new series, I'm discovering more delights in my lush part of the world.
Just look at this.
Oh, gosh. It's fit for a prince, I would say.
You're a genius.
I can't deny it.
But this time I'm heading further afield too, to discover amazing places.
Look, it's awesome, isn't it? Absolutely spectacular. Look at the colours.
And fascinating stories just beyond the Cotswolds borders.
This is what he actually looked like. Gosh.
The only reason it's here is because your ancestors looked after it for 3,000 years.
So join me as I make new friends
Well, welcome to Longleat House.
who are passionate about the places they call home.
Come in, darling.
It's
You know,
very
you'll-
inviting.
Yeah, you'll like it.
I would tell you.
I don't know what that means.
You might just recognise a few of them.
This is the place I first heard the Beatles.
Cheers. Cheers, Malvern.
Today I'm wearing the posh frock for a very special royal appointment
Oh, an orchid. Oh, look.
Common spotted orchid.
Oh, how lovely.
with Prince Charles in his world-famous Highgrove Gardens.
It's a combination of order and chaos.
I can't see much chaos.
I go full steam ahead as a petrified train driver.
There we go. Right, so we're off now.
And I help release some prickly little friends back into the wild.
It's free at last. I think we could give ourselves a pat on the back.
I'm starting my trip today in the heart of the beautiful Cotswolds countryside and heading to a world-famous rural estate near Tetbury for a very special appointment. This is Highgrove, the private residence of their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. This stunning property became home to Prince Charles in 1980.
Oh, son.
I've come for a special tour of the Prince's beautiful and innovative gardens, which he's worked tirelessly to develop over the past 40 years. And I'm really honoured that my guide today will be Prince Charles himself.
I've been here before to do events and performances and to have Christmas lunch with my friends, but I've never explored the gardens, and I've always wanted to. You know, I've always heard how gorgeous they are, and I've got the posh frock on because it's very special today, because I've been granted an audience with His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, so it's lovely. I can't wait.
Ever since the Prince moved in, he's been passionate about creating Highgrove's gardens. He's poured his skills and energies into forming a series of interlinking green spaces that, in his own words, please the eye and sit in harmony with nature. Every year, the Prince opens up his gorgeous gardens to the public, and today I'm thrilled to bits that he's invited me for my very own personal tour. And I want to know what drew him to this part of the world.
Of all the places you could have chosen, why did you choose the Cotswolds to live in? That's a daft question.
Well, that's a
really,
very
isn't it?
complicated question. Well, I tell you why, really, and that was because it was conveniently closer to the main Duchy of Cornwall areas.
Oh, I
Excuse me,
see.
because the vast majority of the Duchy of Cornwall is in the West Country.
Of course,
And that's
yeah.
why I felt it was better to be somewhere down this part of the world. And also because as a child, you know, my parents used to take my sister and I to the badminton horse trials every year.
yes. Oh,
You know, when we were
love
small.
Yeah.
And we came back every year. I don't know, I thought it was rather wonderful, this part.
Yes. As someone who's lived in the Cotswolds for over 30 years myself, I couldn't agree more. We're starting our tour in one of the most iconic areas of the garden, Time Walk, a famous avenue that leads the eye towards the house and the terrace garden. And it's not just lovely to look at, it's lovely to sniff, with all manner of herbs giving off a most delicious scent. This is your famous Time Walk. This is marjoram, isn't it? Oregano?
Yes, it is. I'm afraid so. Yes, it is. But there's not much time left because the rabbits dug up
Oh, I see.
everything all the time.
Oh.
And so, in the end, I'd put in other things. So it's now become...
It's lovely,
a bit
this golden. This golden.
It is
Is that marjoram or oregano?
Yes, 'cause,
I think it's sort of...
should be marjoram.
It smells nice, doesn't it?
Yes, it's that nice smell.
Yeah, it does.
And other things that have jumped in, like the odd...
Oh, an orchid. Oh,
Common
look.
spotted orchid.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah. And other things, you know, the alchemilla's jumped in. And,
But I love that.
but this is quite intriguing what pops in. And it's a combination of order and chaos, if you notice.
I can't see much chaos. Today, these gardens are gorgeous everywhere you look, but that wasn't always the case.
This was just a bare brown path when I first...
Yes, I was going to ask you what was here when you came.
Very little. Well, none of this. No hedges, no pleached hornbeams, no nothing. All there were these golden yews, but they were just balls. Instead of the garden stuff, why don't you let your imaginations run
Oh, I
wild
see.
and
So
what
they...
came up.
Oh, that was nice. How nice to give them that freedom.
And I love topiary, I'm afraid. It's a bit of a passion.
Is it labour intensive, though? Do you have to be
You have to
forever
clip, you have to
clipping
clip.
them?
Well, only once a year,
Oh, I
usually in
see.
the autumn. I know, it's quite fun, isn't it?
I'm impressed by the detail and all the thought that's gone into Prince Charles's design for the gardens, and I want to find out more about how it came about. Did you have a grand plan like Capability Brown?
No,
or
absolutely
did you
not.
do it one piece at a time?
One bit at a time.
Yeah.
Because half the battle, I think, I've always felt, is walking round enough times and suddenly an idea will come, or
Yeah.
some sort of inspiration. I had a bit of advice from a marvellous person called Lady Salisbury who knew a lot about it, and that was how to, complement and set the house in a frame, a bit of a frame.
I see.
And I realised, bit by bit, that I wanted to have a path that ran all the way around the outside of the lawn and went and linked all the different bits.
Oh, I see.
That one by one I tackled.
Oh,
Because they were all
lovely.
jungles, when I came.
Well, those jungles have certainly gone. Now there's everything from elegant formal spaces to kitchen gardens and an awesome arboretum. I love all the colour in these amazing gardens. What's more, I care a lot about wildlife, and I've just spotted something brilliant. I'm a great hedgehog fan, and I see in your pond you've got lovely wicker escapes.
Well, for them and, voles or whatever it is, or whatever else that falls in.
Oh no, I was delighted, because often you see formal pools with vertical sides and there's no escape, it's just a death trap.
No, I couldn't agree more.
But I've always loved what you've said about the environment and wildlife. I've always thought, yes, that's how I feel. Honestly, I'm not just saying it. Yes, I have.
Now, I'm so glad you noticed these.
I did. I'm well known for going and whinging in stately home gift shops and saying, please put in a hedgehog ramp. Coming up.
A particularly lovely flower here is called Dianthus Devon Wizard.
I discover why this flower is so very special to His Royal Highness. And Prince Charles grills me about my day out at Highgrove.
When you come, the food's all right, is it?
Oh, it's
When you
very
come to
good.
these
It's
lunches.
very good. It's fit for a prince, I would say. Welcome back to the Cotswolds and beyond. Today I'm near Tetbury in Gloucestershire, making a very special visit to the gardens of Highgrove House, the private residence of their Royal Highnesses the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. And I'm very honoured that my guide is the Prince himself.
There's a combination of order and chaos, if you know.
I can't see much chaos.
Prince Charles is an environmental champion, so it's crucial that these gardens provide habitats for all forms of wildlife so they can find a home and move in.
Oh, look at these. We always used to call these moon daisies.
And the vital jewel in the crown is his much-loved wildflower meadow.
Look at the orchids. No, I'm not good at distinguishing.
Well, there's some good patches of orchids, do you see?
Yeah, and some lovely ones up here as
Absolutely.
well, look.
Yeah.
See, I marvel if I see one.
Well, I used to go around counting. Obviously, I wrote down each year how many there were each year I spotted. And I ran out now, because the great thing is there's masses of them now.
What I love about this wildflower meadow is that here are the flowers, all the flowers and the lovely yellow rattle and everything.
Yes.
And this will bring in the insects and that feeds the birds and the whole chain benefits.
Okay.
It's wonderful.
Well, lots of bees, and of course, from now on, masses meadow brown butterflies.
Yes.
When you walk through it,
Clouds of them.
and
Oh,
grasshoppers, because that's the other thing. I remember as a child, there was always this endless, wonderful sound of grasshoppers.
And me, I used to lay on the village green and decide which grasshopper to admire.
Yes. Now, the fun is to see if we have a grasshopper jumping competition, isn't it? See how far whose goes first.
I'll mention it to my husband.
No.
This heart-stopping meadow was created by His Royal Highness in 1982. And it was wildflower expert Dame Miriam Rothschild who gave him the 32 species of seed which changed it into something so rich and marvellous. But Prince Charles hasn't finished yet.
They keep trying to go around sometimes with seed, and scatter by hand in the autumn or the winter. But then you have to wait 7 or 8 years before anything happens.
Oh, gosh.
And by which time I'm dead, probably.
Oh, no, don't say that.
No, but you know what I mean.
I'm so impressed that Prince Charles doesn't just issue orders. He rolls up his sleeves, puts on the wellies and actually gets involved here at Highgrove. Conservation is clearly at the heart of everything he does.
He's trying to provide the right habitat. That's what really makes a difference for all sorts of creatures. Like I've tried to provide somewhere to rescue some of those rare breeds of, whether they're cattle, sheep, pig, chicken, geese, all these things. And, I got the natural collection of beeches. And then in the kitchen garden, I was determined to rescue some of those wonderful heritage vegetables. And because all the time, all these things are under threat.
Although the Prince has been busy re-establishing rare breeds, plants and trees at Highgrove, his passion for wildlife preservation spreads far beyond the estate.
The last 2 years at Sandringham, a corncrake has been seen.
Oh.
But I don't think another corncrake has turned up to allow a marriage to take place, which is such a pity. Because it would be wonderful to get them back again. When you think how many there used to be all over the UK, in all the right kind of habitat, the rough places, nests and all that.
One on its own is sad, isn't it? We've got one swift over us at the moment. Yeah.
So you can, as I've discovered, attract swifts again if they've gone by putting a swift box and a call.
Yes, now I've heard of this.
And then they start prospecting.
Oh.
And then you have to wait another year or two before they actually start occupying.
Oh, really?
But the thing I think is so important is to make sure, I've always gone on about houses. You do need to think when you build houses why some overhangs to roofs are important.
Yes.
And I got on and on about the things that we've been doing in the Duchy of Cornwall to have swift boxes,
and
the little holes for swallows and house margins.
I know, if everybody did that, it'd make a huge difference,
well,
wouldn't it?
It is happening a bit more.
I'm so inspired by what Prince Charles is doing for our poor, damaged environment. It's true, if we all did a little bit to help, we could make a big difference. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for asking me to come and see your garden. As I say, I've been to the Christmas lunch here. It's an annual ritual with my friends, but I've never seen your lovely garden, and it's been a joy. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, I hope when you come, the food's all right, is it?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It's fit for a prince, I would say.
No, I don't eat lunch anymore. Anyways, I hope it is. I do.
No, it's always
anyway,
lovely.
It's wonderful
always a
of you
treat.
to take the trouble to come.
We've enjoyed it immensely. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. I look forward to hearing your poem.
Hedgerows.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Well, as I've been planting lots here over the years, and then laying them.
Oh, yes,
myself,
I've heard about you laying hedges.
Your poem is very special.
Good, thank you. I'm so pleased.
Thank you. Bless you.
Goodbye, thank you.
Well,
Well, that's an honour. I'm deeply chuffed. It's not every day the future King of England says he likes your poem, and I'll be reading Hedgerow later in the programme. Well, I thought that was a really nice chat. I enjoyed talking to Prince Charles, and I do admire what he's done to raise awareness of protecting our environment, because so many things have disappeared in terms of plants and flowers and animals since I was a child. And so lovely to talk to somebody who's so passionate about trying to halt the decline. So I thought it was lovely. I enjoyed it, and I thought he was a really nice chap. Now that I've heard so much about the gardens from His Royal Highness, I want to take this opportunity to explore them further. And I'm not alone. Over 40,000 people visit Highgrove every year.
A particularly lovely flower here is called Dianthus Devon Wizard.
I see,
and it's
yeah.
one that His Royal Highness always has in his buttonhole.
Oh,
so
I
they
see.
all come from Highgrove. And if you ever see him with his buttonhole, that's the
I
one
know where
from
it's
here.
come from.
That's right.
I'm meeting Emma Cochrane-Patrick, who leads the team of 60 garden guides here, and whose knowledge of the gardens is second to none. Emma, it's so nice to talk to you about this lovely garden. I've only seen a fraction of it, but it's enchanting. What's the theory behind the gardening here?
Well, the main ethos of Highgrove is really to try and recycle everything. So all the compost is made here, all the rainwater is collected from the roofs, and then it's dispersed throughout the garden.
That's so impressive. It must be tremendously special to work here.
It is a magical place. I'm very lucky because leading the team of garden guides, I go in the garden every day, and so throughout the season there's always something special to see. And it's also a great joy to see people as well enjoy it, and they really do. As you walk through, you take some small part of it and you do feel that actually an area you could reproduce at your own home. Yeah. It's never overwhelming. It's that mixture of formality and wildness that everything that we enjoy within a garden, as we know.
Opening up the gardens is definitely proving to be hugely popular, but it also helps make money for the Prince's Foundation, a charity which provides education and training for people of all ages and backgrounds. And a new hub for teaching traditional skills has now opened on the estate, and it feels like the perfect chance for me to get hands-on and come over crafty. So, as you can see, I've put on the protective clothing to keep my posh frock safe today, and I'm going to go and get plastered. How do I look? Terrible. Esme Walker specialises in traditional plasterwork and runs training courses on how to produce beautiful mouldings like the ones that decorate the ceilings and walls of stately homes like Highgrove. So I'm going along for a little tuition. What could possibly go wrong?
So this is a Gothic ornament which one of the students carved in clay and then made the mould of. Would that one appeal to you?
Yeah, well, I feel a bit like a Gothic ornament, so yes, I'll choose this one, please.
Okay.
I need a mix of water and plaster, which has to be the right consistency. Do I tip in the whole whack?
I sprinkle it in slowly.
Do you have something to stir it with, or do you?
You'll be using your hands,
Okay.
actually.
It's a bit like making a cake.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a bit lumpy, it'll be like my cakes.
Okay, maybe a tiny bit more, but that's pretty good now.
OK, it's all ready. I'm going to fill my mould up. I'm a good pourer, do you think?
Oh yeah, very good.
Good. How lovely.
What a nice thing to make.
Although Esme is now teaching at Highgrove, she first got involved with the Prince's Foundation as a student herself. And as my plaster sets, I want to find out more about how the charity has helped her in her choice of career. How has the Prince's Foundation affected your life, Esme?
Oh, massively. I knew that I wanted to get into building conservation and I wanted a trade. I had some experience doing plastering, but yeah, it connected me with lots of really inspirational plasterers, all of which had their own craft.
So you went on a course?
Yeah, I went on a 9-month course.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm really passionate about a career in traditional plasterwork.
Well, let's have a look at my first effort. I'm desperate for it to come out clean.
Right, so I'm just going to pop it out on my hand. Oh, look! Look at my Gothic decoration. Wow! I'm tremendously impressed.
Oh.
What a lovely souvenir. Thanks.
No problem.
I've had a lovely day today. I've had a walk around Highgrove Gardens, which are world famous and which are absolutely beautiful. I've seen the next generation of craftspeople making beautiful artistic work, and I've had a very nice chat with His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. So in my opinion, it doesn't get a great deal better than that.
Coming up, the heat is on as I hit the tracks for a brand new experience.
Wish me luck driving this here train. I shall need it.
And I release a small, prickly friend back into the wild.
They're painful little critters to try and pick up.
Yeah, they really can be.
She says, I disappeared. I'm not going to talk to the likes of you.
The 800 square miles of Cotswold countryside sits within 6 English counties. But in this series, I'm also travelling just beyond the Cotswolds to explore some very special places. And the next one on my list is an ancient woodland which has been enchanting visitors for centuries. Stretching for more than 200 square miles, the Forest of Dean nestles in the heart of West Gloucestershire. And today I've come to the Dean Forest Railway to see some beautiful old engines that take me back to when I was a girl.
My Uncle Sam was a porter at our local railway station when I was little, and he used to wear this black uniform with the silver badges on and walk up and down and say, "Or change, or change." And I used to think he was so important. So I got lovely memories of these gorgeous old trains.
Once upon a time, this railway was used to carry coal and iron ore from the Forest of Dean to towns and cities far and wide. And passengers too, of course. Nowadays, the railway's been successfully preserved for everyone to enjoy, thanks to a dedicated team of volunteers. Driver Kieran and fireman Harry's love of steam trains started in childhood, with Kieran driving his first train at the age of 7. When he's not eating bacon rolls, Kieran is teaching Harry everything he knows about these historic engines.
Pick it up. There we go. Sling them on, they'll be all right.
And I'm thrilled to be meeting these 2 young men to find out what the attraction is.
I love the old steam trains because my family were very much involved with them in their heyday. What's the fascination of steam for you?
I think it's the sound, the sight and the smell. It's a pleasure to drive, you know, it's like having a friend with a Ferrari, him giving you the keys and saying, go and play with my £500,000 bit of kit, you know.
Crack on.
Yeah, you can't say no to it.
And Harry, you're very young.
I'm only 19,
You're only 19.
When I
gorgeous, if I may say so.
Thank you.
What's the fascination of steam for you?
I think it's sort of helping to preserve, you know, part of heritage. The younger generations nowadays, you know, some of them may never have seen a steam engine before and things like that. So it's just about passing on the skills and the knowledge so it can stay alive for the future, really.
And I say with some trepidation, I think you've got something planned for me today.
Yeah, we certainly have. You're going to be able to have a little go on our 1928 Swindon Works built locomotive. So we go get your boiler suit on, your boots on and your gloves and go and have a drive of the steam engine, shall we?
I can't wait.
Come on then, let's go.
The future of Dean Forest Railway may be in safe hands with Kieran and Harry, but they're definitely taking a risk by inviting me to drive a train with real passengers on.
So I'm ready. So I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see the controls, which are completely unfamiliar to me. And I want you to wish me luck driving this here train. I shall need it. Hello again, Kieran.
All right then, Pam, are you
Yes,
ready?
I'm ready.
Would you like to climb aboard yet?
Oh God, what have I let myself in for?
Great big fire here, and there's all these knobs and levers and bars and noise, and I find it quite scary really, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
You'll be absolutely fine, Pam.
Thanks,
You'll be
Kieran.
fine.
First to master are the controls.
This is our reverser.
Yeah.
Right, select forward and backwards. Second most important is your regulator. That gives you the chuff, a bit like the accelerator on your car. So this is your combined steam brake. And then to create your train brake, we pull the lever right the way across.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure all this is going in. No time to make a run for it as the guard gives the signal to go.
Right, so green flag them a little wave.
Yep.
That's it, well done.
Right.
Little toot on the
We've
whistle.
got the green flag. Toot on the
That's it.
whistle. Mind your ears.
Brake into running.
Right.
Right, and then open the regulator nice and gently. Right, and a little bit more chuff then, Pam.
A little
Just
bit more
A little
chuff.
bit more chuff.
It's a technical term. More chuff.
That's it. That'll do, lovely. A little bit more. There we go. Right, so we're off now.
We're off.
We're off.
Go on.
To be honest, this environment petrifies me. But for Kieran, it's just like driving a car.
So in front's the windscreen. That's your rear view mirror looking behind, backwards.
That's too much.
The boiler pressure and the water gauge is your wing mirrors. And that's the little one in the back screaming over there, yeah. All right? It'll come together, don't worry.
Oh, I'm not so sure. It's such a powerful, mighty machine. I'm so glad Kieran's here.
So we'd like to open that regulator up, see what British engineering's fully about.
And just like that, we're racing along the tree-lined track. If only my Uncle Sam could see me now. What a way to travel. But it's so hot, and all these levers are so heavy. I'll be glad to slow down.
What we'll do now, put the brake back into the running position for me. Right, and then slam the regulator shut. Shut, yeah. There we go, Pat.
Right.
Very well driven.
Oh, you're a star.
Absolute
Thank you.
pleasure.
That's quite enough for me. I'm more than happy to take a back seat and watch the real experts at work.
I don't think I want to be an engine driver, really. I've got great admiration for people who are, but I don't think it's quite me.
Preserving these lovely old railways is so important. And without young people like Kieran and Harry getting involved and passing on their skills, a part of our country's great engineering history would be lost forever. So I have great admiration for them both.
Just like that.
Very impressive. It's very impressive when you know what you're doing. I'm so full of admiration for both of you.
Oh, you did very well, Pat.
You did well,
You did
yeah.
very well.
You're just saying that I was petrified.
It comes naturally.
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to thank you both for your patience, because I can see that I'm not a natural train driver, but it's been a great experience to actually be here in the heart of it and to know something of how it operates is extraordinary. So now I'm going to go and have a nice cup of tea.
Lucky
Get
you.
over it.
Well, what a fantastic time I've had with Kieran and Harry. But I'm leaving behind the heat and hiss of the railway and heading back to the heart of the Cotswolds. It's an area which has always been a haven for wildlife, and as I mentioned earlier to His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, I particularly love one of its meek little inhabitants.
I'm a great hedgehog fan, and I see in your pond you've got lovely wicker escapes.
Now, I'm so glad you noticed these.
I did. I'm well known for going and whinging, saying, please put in a hedgehog ramp.
I'm heading to the village of Beckford near Tewkesbury, to one of the biggest animal hospitals in the Cotswolds. Vale Wildlife Hospital and Rehabilitation Centre has been rescuing and rehoming hedgehogs and other wild animals for nearly 40 years.
Look at these dear little ducklings. Oh, they're so cute, aren't they?
Showing me round is Natalie Gould, whose mum Caroline started the centre from the family home in 1984. And it's certainly expanded since then.
Look at this, it's like a zoo. Look.
Last year, Vale treated around 7,500 wild animals, and nearly a quarter of those were hedgehogs. So I'm keen to find out why so many end up here, especially in spring.
It's not such a good time for hedgehogs, is it?
No, unfortunately not. We have lots of babies here.
Why, Natalie, why do babies get brought into you? What's happened to them?
Mum is nesting, there's nests around. People may be doing their gardening this time of year. We took about 1,860 last year.
Oh, all casualties of one sort or another?
Casualties or orphans, so yeah, they needed to come in.
If I was an injured hedgehog, this is exactly where I'd want to be. There's plenty of work for everyone, so Natalie's given me a job in the hedgehog unit.
So you've got some gloves for me, Natalie. Well, I'm glad, because they're painful little critters to try and pick up without, aren't they?
Yeah, they really can be.
Right, there we go.
There we go.
OK, so let's have a little feel, see if we can find a person. Come on, look, I'm not going to hurt you, I promise. She says I've disappeared. I'm not going to talk to the likes of you.
To be considered ready for release, this prickly customer needs to weigh in at over 900 grams.
Come on, darling. There you go. You won't be in there for long.
913 grams now.
Oh, it's fantastic that my little friend is healthy and heavy enough to be released. But I want to find out more about her story.
Natalie, why is she in here? What happened to her?
So she was quite restricted in the plastic ring holds that hold cans
those
together.
Damn things that hold cans of beer together.
Yeah,
they're a menace to wildlife, aren't they?
She had quite extensive injuries from that, so we had to do surgery, and then she had a bandage wrapped around, so a little waistcoat, but she is fully healed now.
But it doesn't have to happen with those plastic rings, does it?
It's very preventable. All you need to do is cut them up.
Rehoming rehabilitated hedgehogs is a vital part of Vale's work. And I've come 10 minutes down the road to release 2 former patients in this beautiful Cotswold garden.
You go on through, it's right at the back there.
Like me, Charlotte Zoltunas is a passionate hedgehog supporter. And over the past 2 years, she's released 12 back into the wild.
There's a male and a female.
Oh, that's why they hope for some hanky-panky then, in that case.
And a few extra additions, hopefully.
Yeah, wouldn't that be good?
Her garden, with its secluded spots, is the perfect place for a hedgehog house.
Hello, little friend. Come on, darling, I won't hurt you. I wouldn't hurt you for the world. There's one little person.
There we go.
Nice little. You stay there, look. Like you're a little dingly girl.
With the pair all snuggled up in their own little hog house, Charlotte and I are keeping fingers crossed that they'll venture out later.
That looks good.
Yeah.
We'll wait till twilight.
Meanwhile, Charlotte has some great advice about what we can all do to help these humble little friends thrive.
When you look at a hedgehog, it needs 4 things. It needs water, and that's very easy for us all to do. If you've got a pond, make sure that it's got a ramp in it so that they can get out if they do fall in, because they are good swimmers, but they can't stay in there indefinitely, so they need a way of getting out.
Yeah.
Food, so there should be lots and lots of food sources out there that they can forage in your garden, so caterpillars, beetles, earthworms, and then it's important to have a bit of supplementary feeding if you can. So we use dried cat biscuits. You can get a big bag for £3 or £4, which your hedgehogs will love you for.
That's fantastic advice from Charlotte. And as dusk falls, our newfound little friends finally pop their heads out, ready to wander off back into the wild.
He's eating a biscuit. It's so lovely to see, isn't it? It is. That's a very contented sound, isn't it?
That's a pretty successful, I'd say.
I think it is. I think we could give ourselves a pat on the back. Come on, we'll leave them to it.
OK.
Well, it's been a real privilege to witness the care and dedication of Charlotte and the team at Vale Wildlife Hospital. And what a marvellous job they're all doing. Coming up, an Olympic legend is our VIP guide at one of Britain's hottest social outings.
This is our most colourful event in the world's calendar. The reputation is on my shoulders.
And by special royal request, I perform a poem fit for a prince. Now the hedgerow casts its shade, the tall, the sparse, the neatly laid. Welcome back to the Cotswolds and beyond. When the summer temperatures soar, there's nothing to beat messing about on the river. And in the heart of Oxfordshire, the River Thames plays host to one of the most fashionable sporting events of them all. It is, of course, the world-famous Henley Royal Regatta. Each year, an impressive 300,000 fans dress up to the nines and come here to wine, dine, and of course, watch the races.
We've come here because Henley's such a magnificent occasion. It's exclusive and charming and delightful.
And the charm of the town, the water coming through, the people, it's beautiful, just lovely.
Sporting prowess goes hand in hand here with some serious society socialising. With everyone ready to promenade and stand out from the crowd.
You know, it's very nice to see men dressed up like peacocks, just for once.
And for the fashion-conscious gentleman, only a really fancy blazer will suffice.
Basically, the funny hats and jackets haven't changed much in 100 years. And that's rather nice.
From jolly jackets to jolly good sports. And when it comes to British rowing, one man stands head and shoulders above the rest, Sir Steve Redgrave.
Everybody in the world of rowing wants to row at Henley at least once.
5 times Olympic gold medalist, Sir Steve is now chairman of Henley Royal Regatta.
It's the nearest that a rower will ever get to competing in a stadium.
This is what you might call the Wembley of rowing. And Sir Steve is no stranger to the approving roars of the crowd. He's raced here for over 2 decades. But now it's quite different, as he's the man in charge.
This is our most colourful event in the world's calendar. And to be asked to be the chair of it is a huge honour. The reputation of the event is on my shoulders.
Well, his shoulders look pretty broad to me. Time for a little look behind the scenes, which are usually out of bounds to you and me.
So this is the stewards' enclosure. We're just behind the main members' grandstand. We've got obviously bars and restaurants and lots of people hopefully enjoying themselves.
I do like a glass of cold champagne, and in the exclusive stewards' enclosure, private members are served with gourmet cuisine.
50% of our membership are people that have rowed at the regatta, and there's a waiting list, probably about 4 or 5 years.
With a wait that long, I better get my name down. Mind you, once you're here, the world's your oyster. More than 4,000 are swallowed during the regatta.
How are we today? Are we well?
Good day at the regatta.
The operations manager is Richard Herring. He puts the fine into the fine dining.
There'll be a lot of guests that will travel from all over the world, all over the country, and so therefore we need to ensure that our service is absolutely top-notch.
Well poured, sir, well poured.
We do around about 12,000 hospitality covers, and so that equates to 22,000 scones and slices of cake. Pimm's is a massive tradition here at Henley. We'll do in the total of around about 1.2 tonnes of Pimm's fruit to ensure that everyone's getting that perfect serve. It's such a quintessentially English event. You can't not have a buzz about being involved in it. There really is no better place to be.
Maybe it's time to add Sir Steve to my Christmas card list to secure my invitation. And what an end to my trip around the Cotswolds and beyond. I've had a marvellous time, from driving a steam train to helping some adorable hedgehogs. And of course my unforgettable visit to Highgrove, to share a common passion for looking after the world we live in with His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales.
I look forward to hearing your poem.
Hedgerows.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Well, as I've been planting lots here over the years, and then laying them.
Oh, yes, I've heard about you laying hedges.
Your poem is very special.
Good, thank you. I'm so pleased.
Thank you. Bless you.
Goodbye, thank you. So, by special royal request, here is my poem, Hedgerow. Now the hedgerow casts its shade, the tall, the sparse, the neatly laid, with campion and parsley lined, and honeysuckle intertwined. Here a butterfly may rest, and blackbirds build their sturdy nest, and little creatures in the green can slip along and not be seen. Here may livestock sweetly browse, here may sickly sheep and cows in the hedgerow's rich allure seek a comfort and a cure. Then blackberries and rose hips red, sloes and damsons freely shed their autumn bounty, spread the news to native birds and voles and shrews. Come now, make a winter store, fatten up and carry more to bramble, burrow, crevice, lair, for when the winter boughs are bare. Regard again and celebrate the hedgerow with its beauty great, which in pollution ever rife breathes oxygen to give us life. Next time, I'm given a 5-star culinary treat by celebrity chef Raymond Blanc.
Voilà.
Oh, it's lovely.
Sois pas de te, ça moquer.
I visit Shakespeare's Stratford and get my hands on one of English literature's most important books. This is what he actually looked like. Gosh. And at their former Cotswolds home, discover the scandalous high society lives of the Mitford sisters.
Unity was a close friend of Adolf Hitler. I mean, this family, you cannot make it up.
And you can see that next Friday at 8. Celebrating the life and work of comedy's grandest dame, Penelope Keith, from Margot to the Manor Born, is brand new tomorrow at 20 to 9. Coming up, discover the true meaning behind La Dolce Vita in Venice as brand new series Paris to Rome with Bettany Hughes continues next.
They're back and hungry for more challenges.
Let's get on with it.
Oh, definitely, yes. The UK's toughest quiz team returns to take on more hopeful opponents in a truly epic battle of the brains.
Once more into the breach, dear friends.
It's getting annoying. These grand masters of trivia are feared and revered, unstoppable Goliaths of knowledge. Join us for a new series and find out if anyone can defeat the eggheads. Starts Monday at 6:30 p.m. on Channel 5 and My 5.
Welcome to 5 News. I'm Natalia Jorquera. The number of company insolvencies in England and Wales has hit a 13-year high. Soaring energy costs forced a record number of firms out of business. The Office for National Statistics says smaller businesses are most at risk, especially those in construction or hospitality. Trade Minister Conor Burns has been sacked from the government with immediate effect after a complaint of serious misconduct. The MP for Bournemouth West has also been suspended from the Conservative Party while the complaint is investigated. And it's been confirmed that Liverpool will host the Eurovision Song Contest next year. The music show will be staged in the city after organisers of the competition decided it could not be held in Ukraine this year's winner due to the ongoing war. That's all from me. Good night.